Welcome back. It is episode 22.
I was going to ask you, did I write down the right
You
number?
absolutely did not.
22. Just for you guys out there, a little ASMR here coming at you real quick.
That sounded really good in my ears. That
baby. We got the Neil Bros grapefruit lager. Lager grapefruit flavor. I don't know what.
Yeah, so we've had Neil Brothers before.
The light lager.
The light lager.
It was really good. Oh man.
Here's some more ASMR.
Oh my god, listen to that. I can't wait till there's actually alcohol in these. I'll be honest, I'm prepared.
Are you?
I'm ready.
All right. I'm going back and forth. Like, I'm not even that excited to drink. I'm like fully off the wagon.
Really?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Wow. Hater.
I'm not dying on it like I was before.
I'm not dying. It's just, it'll be nice to, I watched the fights on Saturday.
Yeah,
would have
that
been
was a
nice
tough
to have
one.
a fucking drink. You know?
Bye-bye, Conor McGregor.
You think so?
I think
Hang
so.
on, let's do the review, because I feel like last week's review was kind of chintzy.
Okay.
It's really nice. It's not too sweet. You get a lot of grapefruit smell when you're drinking it, but I feel like there's not a whole lot of grapefruit flavor.
It's more smell than flavor.
Yeah, that is tasty though.
I'm not a big grapefruit flavor kind of guy, so that's why I don't mind this one.
Okay.
I'm usually anti-grapefruit.
Wow.
I'm on the anti-grapefruit lobby.
I'm liking that, but my thing is there like sugar in it or anything?
I'm checking right now. There's 2 grams of sugar, so no.
That's not too bad, no.
It's pretty good. 39 calories. These are for skinny ladies,
I'm fucking digging them.
of which we are not.
I'm trying to be a skinny lady.
I'm going to come in at an 8.3.
8.3.
Mm-hmm. Again, that's a very solid 8.3. Wow. I think it's quite delicious.
It's really good. I had to go 8.9.
8.9.
I gave the light lager a 9.2, and I prefer the light lager, and I'm just a bigger non-flavored fan than I am these flavored beers or cider, whatever you want to call them.
Do you like ciders generally?
I can do like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Strongbow I can do like
More
2.
of?
Yeah, because they're not as sweet. Summersby, it's like 1. Now, if you're drinking a Summersby, the proper way to drink it is with an extra shot of vodka in it.
Oh, you're
and on the
hardcore.
rocks. But again, it's just like, because 1 will do you, right? You get that extra vodka, gets you a little, brings you out there,
twist it up,
brings you out there a little more, a little faster. Yeah.
Well, since we were just discussing right before we aired
The fights. No, sorry.
no,
I thought you were going to say the fights.
we weren't sure if this was going to be our final dry January episode or
it
not.
might not.
So in the event that it's not, did you want to do some sort of general review as to like how you felt? Would you do it again?
Okay, so let's do it on Sunday. I've been slacking on the Sundays. I've been postponing.
That's fine. Final one coming up Sunday then.
Yeah,
and we'll give a full review.
Yeah, we'll drink a new one. Yeah, and we'll do a whole review of how we feel, how we felt. Like,
yeah, general thoughts on January.
Yeah. No, I'm down. So
okay.
Sunday.
Cool.
See you Sunday.
Coming at you next week. One more dry January. I'm sorry,
but I'm I gotta say this right. The shit we've had has been really good.
Yes,
and it's taken me by surprise.
It's like an ever evolving market. It's like the Beyond Meat market. The shit just keep making more. I'm not a big fan of Beyond Meat, but the point is that they keep coming out with more and more shit that tastes like regular shit.
Yeah.
And the non-alcoholic market, I feel, is kind of the exact same now. And I didn't even know half this shit was out there.
Buddy,
leave it up to the pregnant people to find ways to sneak in a champagne once in a while without.
She's had the wine, right? Non-alcoholic wine.
Wine we started with, we were buying out of the grocery store.
And thoughts?
Horrible.
Really?
The red wine. Okay. The red wine was really bad.
The white's not
The
terrible?
rosé was good.
Okay.
But rosé is generally sweeter.
I was going to say rosés, you can't really fuck that up.
It's a bit of a cheat. So the rosé was good. And there was a sparkling wine, like a sparkling white wine, similar to like a champagne type thing.
Similar to the shit we had yesterday?
Corked, yeah.
Okay.
And it had
yesterday, last week.
Yes. It had a cork in it, and I quite enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
And they're like $5 a bottle. They're pretty cheap. So she was on that for a while. she found a non-alcoholic gin right at the start, right in the end of summer.
See, and I was just going to ask, do they do non-alcoholic, like, hard liquors?
They do. Yeah.
That's weird.
I'm not sure the full market. I'm just assuming there's more, but like I'm sure they have a bit of everything.
I was going to say, maybe we should try to see if we can get a whiskey on for next Sunday.
I'll try and find one in a minute.
Well, I'll even look too to see what we can find.
So the non-alcoholic gin is pretty good because you know how there's botanical gins now? Okay, so botanical gin is like a gin that doesn't taste like gin.
Okay.
Which my wife doesn't like because she actually likes the taste of gin.
So do I.
Yeah, so you may not like these as much, but they're out there and they have a very strange flavor. Like they taste like gin, but it's weird.
Okay. That's cool though that they do that. I didn't.
Yeah.
Again, that was something I was always curious
It's
about.
like the vodkas, like they have botanical vodkas now that are like. Well, I've showed you that peach vodka.
By Kettle One.
Kettle One.
Yeah, that shit's phenomenal.
That's technically a botanical vodka.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
for our sake, we're calling it one.
So she got onto that at the start when no one knew that she was pregnant.
Yeah. Well, she threw us off because she brought a non-alcoholic wine. I even opened it for her.
Yeah, but you would have no way of knowing.
Oh, I didn't examine the bottle. Because if I had
poured it into a real bottle of wine.
Oh,
she double faked you out.
Oh, wow.
So the bottle you opened was
not.
It would have shown alcohol.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
It wasn't alcohol inside.
It's like the guy my dad golfs with puts a bottle of tequila in
a sunscreen bottle.
Sunscreen bottle. Like.
He doesn't need to do that either.
No, he just definitely doesn't, but he does.
It's quite hilarious.
It's just funny, right?
It is very funny.
I guess he did it like once and it's just kind of stuck. Yeah.
Tequila coming out. And it's usually like piping hot too, because it's been in a golf bag on a summer day.
Yeah, it's usually the best right first thing in the morning.
Yes.
Now, mind you, when we tee off, it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
That's okay.
So sometimes it's not the greatest, but yeah, that's when it's the best to drink it because it's not 300 degrees.
And then usually by the time you're drinking it's 300 degrees, you're so drunk anyway,
it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
So she went down the botanical gin route, which she kind of liked, kind of didn't, because she's just not a fan of botanical gin. She just would have rather the gin.
Yeah, whatever.
But I think it's pretty close. Like she gave a sip to someone who thought it was real gin, and they said it tasted good.
You could have fooled them.
Yeah.
You should have just fed them that all night, see if they pretended to be drunk.
No, they were well drunk before that,
damn.
Which probably helped the matter.
We should try that one. Just like feed, like
it's easy to trick. It's like the placebo effect. If you think you're drinking,
if you think
beer,
you're drinking, I think that was like me the first time, like the first week we did this.
I
didn't feel drunk, but I got more giddy.
Yeah, you get like a little, it changes your mood. You're like, I'm having a beer.
Yeah.
Usually I'd feel a little buzzed by now.
Yeah.
I remember early on to this, I got stoned one night and then I had a non-alcoholic beer and I felt fucked.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But like, again, it like put me in this like weird, like, I'm smoking a bit of weed. I'm having a beer.
Get crunk.
Yeah, like I guess my body's used to that feeling. It's pretty.
That's awesome.
Pretty down. It's not great, but it is one of those things. I want to see if I can find it on just quickly.
Just curiosity.
Just out of pure curiosity.
So you watched the fights this past Saturday.
I did.
Which was UFC 257.
Yeah.
McGregor versus Poirier. So I'm not big into the fight game, so I don't pay attention. I don't follow it closely. I just, when I see ads for it and it's a big fight, or you kind of pay attention to it a little more than I do.
Only slightly.
Yeah, you just know who's fighting pretty, like,
yeah,
or at least all the big fights that are coming up. So I just hear them from you. So this was a big fight and I wanted to watch it. Like, it's Conor's comeback. But what I didn't take into consideration was he hadn't fought in a year. This was his first time in the octagon since last year when he fought
against Donald Cerrone,
Cowboy. Yeah. And I've heard this from multiple people now, and Conor even said it in the his post-fight the conference or whatever, that
he needs to fight more.
If you're not in the ring, you're out of the game.
Yes.
And he's 100% true. Like, you can go and spar whoever you want. A lot of the times you're paying these guys to spar you and almost kind of make you look good in a little bit, especially when there's cameras around filming for shit. And hitting a heavy bag and hitting mitts, it's nothing compared to being in an actual fight dealing with everything all at the same time.
It's like standing on the driving range and then standing on the first tee.
100%.
Yeah.
So it's like after hearing that, it's like, well, fuck, like makes 100%. And I've heard also that it wasn't Connor being like, I can't fight. They just didn't offer him fights. They weren't giving him any fights for that entire year because he wanted to fight.
Yeah, I think Connor wanted certain fights that I don't think he was entitled to. So it's two things here. I haven't listened to any of the after stuff, so I understand what you're saying, and I did hear him in the after interview saying he's got to fight, which is true.
Yeah,
if you're gonna compete at the highest level against the best in the world,
you have to be fighting.
You need to be fighting, but I don't think that's why he lost that fight. I think he lost that fight because I think he had a bad game plan. I think he was overconfident, and I didn't think he thought that fight was going out of the first round. I really don't.
I don't think any fighter expects it to.
Well, no.
You got to be confident in the sense, but
I don't think it was a confidence thing for him. What I'm trying to say is I really think that his game plan going in was, I know how to knock him out in the first round and end the fight, and that's what he focused on.
Yeah.
And then what he didn't account for was that he was going to get his fucking leg kicked to shit,
yeah.
Which I don't understand how he didn't account for that.
Yeah, he didn't check.
See, to me, watching the fight, it seemed like a bad game plan from the get-go. Like, he was letting his leg get chewed up.
Yeah. And
he was just looking for a knockout, which, again, fair enough.
He got hit with some heavy calf kicks, man.
Yeah, like, at the end, he couldn't even walk.
No, if you watch him when he got, like, knocked down, TK'd out, he wasn't moving. And it's because he couldn't. Like,
his leg was fucked.
His leg was dead.
So, and the fact that he wasn't prepared for I don't think, personally, watching the fight, he looked like a person that was prepared to get leg kicked. Right. I don't know why. To me, that's shocking. Like,
yeah,
it almost, to me, comes out from a sense of arrogance. But he was getting kicked so hard in the leg that it changed the fight. So
100%.
Because
that was the game changer.
Yeah, if you watch the last sequence, if you notice in the second round, he tried to catch that leg like 2 or 3 times, and then yeah. But and then when they ended up in the spot they were, is because he caught the leg. I don't think that if he was checking those kicks properly at the start of the fight, or was more prepared for them, that he would feel the need that he needs to start catching these in order to avoid damage. And then he caught the leg. They kind of ended up against the cage. Arms come down. You get hit with a good shot. Now you're stunned. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Fight's over.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So that was my first intentions watching the fight. My second thought is that I think it's going to be very tough for him to get the fights that he wanted to fight. So he is a huge name and a huge draw. And generally he's a shot caller. I think that he needed to win that fight because he's been out of the game so long. Last time he fought, he wasn't even in this division.
Right.
The reason he went back to lightweight, I believe, is because Khabib's out, and he saw an opportunity to get a belt around his waist again. Fair enough. Now, if he won that fight, he'd be fighting for the belt next. But now Poirier has to fight for the belt against probably Gaethje or Khabib if Khabib comes back.
I don't think Khabib's coming back. I think that's
Khabib would have only come back to fight Conor for probably $100 million.
And I don't even know if he would have came back to fight Conor.
I don't even know that either.
Dana's the one holding on to Khabib and wanting Khabib to come back.
I think Dana's holding out hope. False hope.
Yeah, 100%. Like, Dana wants him to, and he said it. He's like, I would like him to come back, but at the end of the day, it's his call. The dude's 29-0. He's had a fantastic career. He's gone through a lot of personal shit. Like, the last fight he did, his dad died during that training camp.
And he doesn't want to fight anymore than his dad.
I think he's over it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, I don't know. To say Conor didn't expect it, again, he
for sure an over-exaggeration on my part.
So what I've heard and how the fight came to be, so Poirier's got his charity thing that he does.
Okay.
Him and Conor were going to do a charity, like, exhibition boxing match for the charity. They were going to put on an event, whatever. That was a way for Conor to get back into a ring of some sort and get back into fighting. And then the UFC got a hold of it and was
Why didn't you guys just fight for real?
You guys just do it for real.
Yeah,
and then that fight came to be. But it was 100% not a good fight for Conor to take. Not being in the octagon for a year and then going up against one of the most active guys as of now. It's a loss. That was not a good fight for Conor to take. But now Conor made apparently, again, this is all speculation from what I've heard from other people that follow the fight industry. He had made other fight options, suggestions. He's like, I want to fight this guy or this guy. And everything just kept getting poo-pooed. And
yeah, he did tweet out in the summertime or in the fall because there was a controversy about how he hadn't fought in so long and people were saying that he was ducking fights.
Yeah.
And then he tweeted out conversations he was having with Dana White, screenshots saying, how about I fight this guy? How about I fight that guy?
And they were just not coming to fruition.
They just weren't coming up for whatever reason. I think you're letting Conor off the hook a little bit, personally. I think... Listen,
I'm not letting him off the hook. Like at the end of the day, you took the fight. And again, I don't know a fighter of his caliber, how he can not check those leg kicks. Like it's not like, holy fuck, dude. Nobody's done that ever.
No, that's like a huge UFC. Part of the game now. Leg kicks are
like when he threw those shoulder shots at Cowboy.
Yeah.
Like that was
a first.
Yeah, that was a first.
And then you saw him and Dustin doing it all fight now.
It's now something that everybody does.
Yeah.
So it's like how you weren't prepared for that is, I don't know, like again, I'm a little taken back by that. But I also heard that because he got into the boxing realm with Mayweather and got himself more into boxing and maybe he's fallen in love with it and he considers himself a striker.
He's probably fallen, yeah.
He's fallen down that rabbit hole of just being a striker. So if that's your case, then maybe just transition into boxing. Because you're fighting in the UFC, dude. You got to pay attention to takedowns, fucking kicks. Not just kicks to the legs, but kicks to the head, kicks to the midsection.
Yeah.
You literally have to pay attention to everything. And that's why, like, you'll never see boxers go over to, like, to say, like, I heard people when Mayweather fought Conor, why doesn't Mayweather just go into the octagon?
Because he'll die.
Yeah.
He doesn't know jiu-jitsu. He doesn't know wrestling. He doesn't know he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
Coming from one of the dumbest podcasts ever.
Maybe the dumbest.
You're dumb. And like the guy just all he cares about is hands. And then to put him in a ring where you had like a one leg kick, the guy's gonna fall over.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
You know, so it's like when I was hearing that shit, I'm like, you guys are just absolutely so dumb, and I don't even pay attention to this shit.
So I don't think it was a bad matchup for Conor.
No,
I don't. I think Conor. This is the thing about Conor. Conor is extremely smart, and he's a very smart businessman.
100%.
So Conor doesn't just fucking pick one fight and then. He's thinking 3, 4, 5 fights down the road. He's thinking, where's this lead? What doors does it open, right?
He has to.
Now, whether this was the only fight offered to him or not, he still, listen, Conor's intention was to, I guarantee you, now I don't know if this is for sure, but Conor would have wanted to fight a fight, the Dustin Poirier fight, and then hopefully his next fight would have been some sort of super fight, either against Khabib coming back for the belt, or he would have fought the interim champ for the belt. Because basically this fight was teeing up whoever was going to fight for the belt. So Conor saw an opportunity that all he had to do was win one fight. Now he's back fucking top of the line pay-per-view fighting for another belt.
Still
gets to throw another. I know he is.
Yeah.
I know he is. I'm just saying, right? So this is all leading down the road that I'm headed. So he saw an opportunity, one fight. Now he has 2 fight wins. And now he's got a belt back around his thing for being out of the game for like 2.5 years.
Pretty much.
Sporadically, right?
I agree with that.
So he's not, I don't think it was a bad fight. I think he was honestly trying to fucking knock the guy out in the first round. And also Conor looked good. He had a good training camp.
Yeah, he did.
By all accounts, for people that were on his team and people that were watching him, they were saying he was looking like he was at 145 when he was coming up.
Yeah.
Before he was a lightweight champ. So
he had the exact same team he's had, except for he was missing one dude, Dylan. Another fighter.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Dustin Dillon, or I don't know his name, but that was the only guy he was missing out of his regular crew.
Mm-hmm. So to me, it just seemed like he wasn't ready for leg kicks. How his camp didn't let him get ready for it. How he wasn't ready for it. Or maybe they did change for it. And then he just thought, okay, I'll sacrifice the first round, get my leg beat up because I know that. And also he caught Dustin with a few good shots in the first round.
Oh yeah.
And it was this weird like slip left hook. Like he would hit him there and then he kind of slipped this fucking left one in.
That was like that's his fucking move though.
Yeah, but it was effective.
Yeah.
Right? and it was landing. So I think he thought that the way, however he saw the X's and O's of how to beat Dustin Poirier, I think he thought, okay, I'm going to hit him with this 1 or 2 times. He's going to go down. The fight's going to be over.
Yeah.
So I think that was in his mind. I think that's a horrible game plan because you gotta prepare to fight fucking 5 rounds. Poirier's not a duster. He's he's a number 2 contender. And now he's fighting for the fucking belt.
Conor did come out and say though that he was more than prepared to go 5 rounds. Like he's been training condition, and everybody says like his conditioning shit. Like look at the boxing match with Mayweather, all his other fights. Like he's never really gone the distance. The fight with Diaz, he was gassed in the 3rd round.
Yeah,
there's all this shit, and it's like, yeah, but this was the first fight Conor had been TKO'd / knockout.
And actually knocked out. If you see the second one on the ground, he went out for a second.
A little bit, yeah. But everything else has been by submission, all his other losses.
Yeah.
So this one, like, Dustin took him at his own game, which again, I think threw McGregor.
Yeah,
because even Mayweather didn't fucking knock him out.
He TK'd, but he also let Conor punch himself exhausted too.
Yeah, but like Conor didn't get knocked out. Conor just stopped defending.
Yeah, and then the ref has to stop
again. But Mayweather also isn't a knockout artist.
No,
doesn't have the power.
No, yeah, you're right. He didn't get knocked to the ground. He didn't get unconscious.
No, they stopped the fight because he was just getting.
Conor's been knocked down before, but he's never been lost a fight that way.
Mayweather just fucking bombarded him with a shit ton of punches, and the ref's like,
his arms were at his waist.
Yeah, you're done.
Like you can't do that in boxing.
No, this ain't the UFC, my guy.
No,
but yeah, I don't know. I think a better fight for him to come back to would have been a Diaz fight because both him and Diaz have kind of been out of the game for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
again, I think
he's got different ideas. I think
100%. The Diaz fight is still an option.
Diaz but he could have come back to fight Diaz. I don't think he would have wanted to because fighting Diaz doesn't get him any closer to the lightweight championship.
No, but him fighting, I'm agreeing with you. Him fighting Poirier. Again, win or lose, they're now 1-1 in their little trilogy.
Yeah.
So definitely a third one's there.
Maybe.
If Dana said in the post-fight press conference that if Khabib doesn't come back, it'll be most likely Dustin versus McGregor for the belt because those are the top 2 guys in the division.
What about Justin Gaethje? Because he just fought Khabib.
I don't know.
And to me, he would. And
that's what Dana said. Like that'll probably be the fight to see who takes it.
I think that'd be wrong. I think that'd be overlooking Justin Gaethje. So the reason I think that Conor might be, and I don't think when I said he's done, I don't mean that he's retiring.
No,
I think
I can see him retiring.
I think again, he's retired 3 times out of the last 4 years. Literally, 3 out of 4 He's retired 3 times in the last 4 years.
When has he said he's retiring?
He retired last fall as well. He's retired a bunch of times.
Really?
Yeah. He'll be like, yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
Like he said, I'm going to retire?
Yeah, and then he'll come back.
I see. I've never heard that.
Yeah, 3 out of the last 4 years.
That's fucking crazy. Anyways, I don't see him retiring. Or no, sorry. I do see him retiring. Dude's got hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank. Dude showed up in a 60-foot yacht to Dubai and just fucking chilled in the yacht the entire fucking time. Like, guy, you have your own whiskey. You got kids now. You have all the money you could ever want. You got the houses. Literally everything he's wanted going into the UFC. Like he's
accomplished all the goals.
He's done it.
Yeah.
You become the two weight class
champs. Yeah.
2-time champ. You held belts same time. Like man, you became the face of the UFC, let alone sports in general.
Yeah, he's transcended the sport. He's like Tiger Woods,
right?
Right.
Like
There's not too many athletes that transcend the sport.
No, so like, guy, you've done it. But again,
I think this was a legacy thing, though. I think he really wanted to come back, have 2 or 3 more fights, wrap a belt around his thing, and then finally walk off into the sunset.
Yeah.
So he retired in 2016, 2017, and 2019.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That tells you how much I pay attention.
Anyway, that was just a.
Also, you got to consider that was him saying he's retired, or was that him saying,
that was him.
I'm going to take some time to like evaluate like my situation?
No, in 2017, after the Mayweather fight, he said, I'm retired from fighting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and in 2019, he said, I've decided to retire. He tweeted it out. I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know they've been real retirements, but they've been returned.
I know he said a lot of times, like, he's going to step back and like evaluate his situation and if he wants to continue.
So where does Conor go from here? I think, see, this is the thing. I think if he fought Dustin again, it would be wrong because that belt, that weight, that
nah, he's got to fight somebody else.
That division needs a champ because right now
100%.
Khabib's retired, and to me, the fight should have been Gaethje versus the winner of Poirier and McGregor.
That fight still may happen.
I think it should, and then if Conor wants to fight somebody to decide who the next guy is going to fight the winner of those two. Maybe.
See, I could see.
I just don't know who he fights next unless he's got some sort of unification fight. My gut tells me though, I think he's just going to be doing the clown show boxing Manny Pacquiao or fighting one of those fucking YouTubers.
Almost like exhibition fight.
Like for like $100 million, and it's going to be a joke. I think
it's smart on his part.
It is,
he's going to make fucking bank.
It is, but I don't. It's not how I want to see him go out, and I'm not a big 100%. Conor lover myself. But I don't know. Unless he's just committed to getting this belt back, in which case he's got to fight another top challenger. And then while someone else fights for the belt, and then he can fight whoever won the belt.
I don't even think he needs to fight somebody like top 10, I would say. So again, I think Diaz is in the mix there. So he could do the third fight of the trilogy against Diaz, which again, I think would be a better fight for him in the sense that they both haven't fought like at all in the last year.
I don't want to see that fight.
Again, it's just, I think that would be a smarter fight. And again, after listening to other people who pay attention to the industry a lot more than I do, it does make sense. When was Diaz's last fight?
Against, what's his name? Masvidal.
Yeah, and that's been a fucking while.
Yeah.
For the BMF belt.
Yeah. and Diaz looked really bad in that fight.
Yeah. Well,
Masvidal's also a fucking really good fighter.
Yeah. Again, I think that would be a better fight for him or somebody else. And then I think he just needs to get a couple, whether it's one other fight or two. Again, he literally went up against the number 2 in the weight division as his comeback fight over a year. And the Donald Cerrone fight, I think, was a bit of a joke. After watching the fight, it was kind of a joke.
He beat the shit out of him in 25 seconds.
It was almost like a show match. And Conor just fucking put in work.
I don't think they're going to give Conor any fluff fights. It's not the UFC style generally.
And neither do I. But again, if he does the third fight against Diaz, it would be a fluff fight for him, but it's a
moneymaker.
Yeah, it's a moneymaker for the UFC. So,
I don't know where he goes.
But again, I would not be surprised in the least if he comes out and says he retires. For good.
Yeah.
At least from the UFC. Like if he wants to do show matches in the boxing realm, or if you again,
he did say at the end of his fight though that he's looking because
he would like to.
John Anik asked him, he's like, "Are we going to see more of you?" He's like, "Yeah, for sure. You're definitely going to see me." He's like, "I need activity. I need to fight."
But that's him at the end of the fight, being hungry when he goes back home to his kids. And he lets
the leg heal up a bit.
Yeah, lets the loss sink in and kind of let everything.
I don't think he wants to go out getting knocked out.
I don't think anybody does. But at the end of the day, is it really worth going back in there and getting knocked out again?
Yes. Blood sport. Blood sport.
So again, the guy has accomplished everything and then some.
Yeah.
And he has so much. He doesn't just have the legacy of him on the line going back into the octagon. You got to think he's got his whiskey company that he's the face of. Mm-hmm. He's got all this other shit that's riding on it. If he just goes out now, it's like whatever.
And it's a fucking good whiskey. We talked about
it. Is a good.
I don't think we should. Did we formally review it?
I don't think. No, it was before that.
It's really fucking good.
We should try it again or drink it again. Not try it again.
Yeah, but it's really fucking good. All right, so McGregor fight. I did want to make this disclaimer because we haven't spoken about The Bachelor in a long time.
Oh my!
All right, hang on. This is not where you think it's going to go.
Okay.
This is a PSA for people to not watch The Bachelor.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, do not. So this is my thing. All right. I thought everyone should watch it because it's hilarious, whatever. Yeah. But I forgot that I've been watching the show for like 5, 6, 7 years, however long.
You're addicted.
Not that. That, yes. That, yes. But also, it's like when you start off, and it's like a slow build to something.
Yeah.
Like when I first started watching it, it wasn't anywhere near these levels.
Yeah.
And like Instagram wasn't at its popularity and people weren't at this thing. And like the show was just built to this horrible, horrible place that's like, it's truly unwatchable.
Yeah.
It's like, so I apologize to anyone who started watching the show or thought about watching it. Do not watch it. Only let me watch it because I'm sick and I'm demented. And I've escalated this point. So like, it's like I was talking with my brother-in-law and he's like almost a decade younger than us.
Yeah.
So he understands like certain things that we don't understand, right?
Right.
So I was playing a song, Kanye West, Wolves, right? And he heard it. He's like, oh, it's like that meme. I'm like, what meme? Because there's a million memes, right?
So many.
There's a million memes. So he's like, you know what? He's like, I'm not even going to show you it because it's like you would have had to see this meme in 2015 and understand the evolution of that.
Yeah.
Which I understand, right? Like there's certain
shit that for us too, like we show
absolutely
people, younger people, like if we were to show Lucas something, he'd be like, yo, what the fuck?
You're like, okay, but if you were watching this for the last 10 years. But if you knew,
like it's all...
So the same rules apply for the Bachelor and Bachelorette franchise. I started at a certain point where now it's just gone too far.
That you can't watch it.
But if someone's going to try and jump in now,
it's tough.
They're going to be like, what in the actual fuck? Like, no. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. 7 years ago, it was horrible, but not this horrible. You know what I mean? It's just like, I've just been like, it's like death by 1,000 cuts on the show, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like every year it's just a little bit worse. And then you're just like, I guess this is how bad it is always. But you forget. So yes, no more Bachelor talk for me because it's so bad and fucked.
I do like it. Unless you want like it. But every once in a while, I think if something crazy happens or something
I will
funny,
keep you guys updated.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely keep it in the mix. I just don't know if we need a weekly update.
I don't think we need a weekly update. I didn't even finish the last weekly updates because it was like
it's been like 6 weeks.
I was like, oh, we're on to a new season.
I know.
Yeah. So the one thing I did that I do want to say is the girl. Remember, I told you that they changed bachelorettes halfway through.
Yeah.
So that girl that left with the other guy, they've broken up. They just broke up.
I could have called that. I should have put money on it.
No one saw that one coming. Yeah, so they're done. And so do not watch The Bachelorette or The Bachelor. I'm sorry, it's just gone too far.
Yeah.
And I think we're like, I was having this serious conversation last time I watched it. I think in like 2 seasons that show is going to be like X-rated and on pay-per-view.
Jesus.
I do. I'm making this prediction now. It's just like they've almost gotten to a point. We're going to
see all the sex scenes.
Not even that.
Oh.
Just like tits and dick,
won't watch.
I guess. Whatever. But like swearing. I don't know. They've gotten to a point where like there's nowhere really to go.
You can't go up from here.
They're trying to be edgy. They're trying to be this. They're trying to be that. Like they're always trying to push it a little bit further.
Yeah.
And I think the logical progression is eventually it's going to end up on
pay-per-view
or like some sort of subscription, which people, including me, will be lining up to fucking stroke the check for. But I do think that's my prediction. Heard it here first that show is headed down that road.
I could see that. Hey, if they start throwing in some fucking porno scenes, I'm in.
It's just an evolution of shit, right?
I'm in.
Yeah.
You let me know.
Then there's going to be a lot more subscribers.
Oh, 100%. And I'll be one of them. Oh, man.
All right. We wanted to get back into the conspiracy talk.
I was just going to fucking say something.
Go for it.
No, I can't fucking remember what I was going to say. No.
We wanted to get back into the conspiracy talk. I've missed it.
I've missed it. I
enjoy having a very specific topic to talk about. This one I did see that was fucking hilarious, though. This is not what we want to discuss, but Oklahoma state lawmaker introduces Bigfoot hunting season bill.
Bigfoot hunting?
In Oklahoma.
Yeah, there's going to be so many fucking people in a gorilla costume that are going to get fucking shot and killed.
The measure would require hunting licenses and comes with a $25,000 reward for Bigfoot's capture. The legislation is aimed at increasing tourism near the, I cannot pronounce that, Ouachita Mountains.
That sounds about right.
In Oklahoma. I did not. So here's the one thing about hunting seasons is usually you have to have a large population of game in order to hunt. So in Ontario, they reintroduced elk in Ontario like 20 years ago.
Yeah. And
there's certain populations that have such a healthy population. Now you can have a hunt season on them. So I didn't realize that Oklahoma had so many Bigfoot that you can have a hunting season because obviously there's a lot. They must be fucking living in people's fucking sheds.
But again, maybe there's some fucking jackass teenagers just finding out who the crazy dude is in the trailer park and running around in the woods beside it in a fucking gorilla costume. That's what I mean, man. There's going to be so many deaths down there. 16-year-old kid found dead in the woods.
Dressed up like Bigfoot.
Somebody's
trying to claim their 25,000 grand reward.
Yeah.
So they get 25.
Sir, you committed a murder.
Yeah.
Well, he was Bigfoot.
At the very least, manslaughter. Or you could just start murdering people and then dress them up in a Bigfoot costume after. Be like, look, I didn't know.
Yeah, fuck.
I hit him with my car several times. I thought he was Bigfoot.
I was trying to get that 25 G's. Give me the 25 G's. He's Bigfoot.
Can you imagine if you voted for someone and their job and they go to your state legislator and they're like, I think we need a Bigfoot season.
I don't think it'd be that I wouldn't be that surprised if I lived down there.
Fuck, man. I'd be very disappointed.
They're different down there.
They're different here. They're different fucking everywhere.
Yeah, 100%.
I would just be mad. Be like, I wasted a fucking vote on this numbskull. Because, like, even if it's a joke, it's like, why are you wasting people's time with this? Some of us are serious Bigfoot hunters.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We take this shit seriously.
Yeah. I'm going to run you down with my car and put you in a costume.
You're just going to throw around some fucking $25,000 carrot in front of my nose? Like I won't go to the Wichita Mountains? They could have at least
made it a little more.
25 grand's pretty good.
Yeah, well, down there it definitely is.
That's like 800,000 Canadian dollars. It's maybe more. Our dollar's shitty.
It is shit, but
now it's like 30 grand.
Fuck, when your lotto's almost at $1 billion. Yeah,
it's because they have a lot of people.
Yeah, you could at least. It's fucking Bigfoot. You really think somebody's catching a fucking Bigfoot gonna claim your reward?
No.
Exactly.
I think they're gonna fuck it.
Like, fucking make it like I would make that shit outrageous.
If there's someone that has the wherewithal to actually capture a live Bigfoot, they're taking that home, they're putting it in their soundproof basement, and they're keeping it as a sex slave.
Why would I give it to the government?
Because
I am gonna keep it, and that is mine, and you're gonna pay me a hell of a lot more than $25,000 if you want it.
No, you're not. You're gonna try and make Bigfoot kids with it.
Well, if you only have one. I'd be scared of it. I'm fucking shooting it,
Can you imagine
stuffing it.
How scary that would fucking be.
And then selling it to a museum for an outrageous amount of money.
See, the problem is, even if someone did kill a Bigfoot, I believe this. I think it would have to be alive in order for most people to believe it.
Oh, 100%.
If someone it came across its crosshairs, they had the fucking Bigfoot tag in their wallet, they were legally allowed to shoot this fucking thing. It fucking comes in their crosshairs, fucking boom. They fucking drag it back. They call in scientists. They get hair samples.
It's not a Bigfoot.
People could be sitting there filming it, taking videos of it, and until everything came back 100%, there's no way that most people would believe it.
Because I know Joe Rogan talked about it on his podcast about what Bigfoot was actually considered. Do you remember the name of that species that was...
Yeah, because I've seen every documentary about Bigfoot in the world.
What's it called?
It's a Gigantopithecus.
Pithecus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they lived 100,000 years ago.
Guy, good luck.
And it was a bipedal.
Dude, how many fucking people are in the world right now? How many people fucking travel to all these fucking deserted, crazy locations? And maybe not super crazy because, again, the Amazon's fucking nuts. And not a lot of us go there.
But every time scientists go to the Amazon, they discover a new species.
I know, because it's fucking crazy.
Like insect or bug.
It's crazy.
It's Gigantor.
Crazy. There's parts of the fucking Amazon you go, a lot of times you don't come out.
No.
Because there's a tribe in there and they kill you. Like, bitch, why are you here?
This is real science.
I just think they should have made that outrageous. Like make it at least like $1 million. Or even $500,000. Like, that would have been a lot better than $25,000.
The thing is, these are state funds, so it's easier to, like, $25,000 to a government is like 25 fucking eighths of a fucking penny. It's like a flick. It's not even a drop in the bucket. They don't care about that. But if as a legislator they want to fucking give away $1 million reward, that's $1 million of taxpayer money. Like, what the you're gonna give away $1 million on fucking
True, but
Bigfoot?
I think they could have got somebody to back them on this. Like, again, get a museum.
Museums don't give a fuck about Bigfoot.
Yeah, if you got one,
zoos care about Bigfoot. Museums
no, because the zoo wants the actual thing breathing and living. But if you're gonna shoot it, stuff it, give it to the museum.
Mount them on the wall.
Yeah, look, Bigfoot was alive, 2021. Somebody got one.
There is I remember this story. There was a hunter in Texas that claimed he shot a Bigfoot years ago.
Yeah.
And then he said that he killed a baby. Like there was a mom.
Shot a cub? Wow.
Not a cub. Human being baby. He said it was like 4 or 5 feet tall.
So
it was like
a
youngling. And then he shot it. And he shot at the mother or adult that was with it. And it scurried off. And then he dragged the thing out, realized what the fuck it was, jumped in his truck, drove away, and then came back and the thing was gone. And dragged off and buried. Sounds to me like a lie.
Sounds like he killed a person.
And then drove the body away and put it in an incinerator.
Yeah.
And then told people that he killed a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
To explain why there was human blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Or primate blood, I should say.
Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, if you catch bait, you ain't. Why the fuck didn't you put it in your fucking truck?
Yeah.
Why'd you leave it on the side of the road? Or the side of wherever you were?
Like, you might have made the biggest discovery ever.
And you just left it there.
Now, whether it's worthy of that title is a different story, but it would be huge.
You went hunting with a friend,
yeah,
air quotes, and you shot this motherfucker.
Point blank in the face.
Yeah.
You blew his head off.
And then you said you did drag him to your truck thinking you could take him somewhere else and bury him. Then you realized how much blood and everything there was.
Yeah.
And so you said you left him there. Meanwhile, you buried him. And then said you drove away, came back, and it was gone. And it just played this Bigfoot fucking fantasy on everybody. And hey, good on him, because apparently it worked. But if I'm the police down there, I'm doing a bigger investigation on that motherfucker.
So here's the story. Yeah. Look at this. Here's the photo of Bigfoot. Tell me that's just not a man that's been fucking dead for a while.
Oh, yeah. That is just a man with a huge ass beard.
Exactly. I've seen you have beards that big.
Yeah.
And he's just been in his freezer for a while.
Yeah.
So this article, this is the dude.
Oh my God. That's actually the picture of the thing that
That's what he says he killed in Texas in 2012.
Somebody drew that.
He just released this in 2018. This is recent.
This guy is a murderer.
Recent ass news.
Recent ass news.
So this guy has released more photos and he plans for an international tour where Bigfoot's body will finally be made available for public viewing. Is expected next week. So I'm actually thinking of a different story. So there's 2 different stories.
Oh my God. There's probably thousands.
Probably thousands.
But like, fuck, man. I would do a deeper dive into that guy's fucking life.
So anyway.
This sounds like he just killed an old man.
Obviously.
By the look of that picture.
I mean, look at this.
The guy's like in his 50s.
Tell me how fucking fake this photo is.
What is it?
That's what he says it is.
Yeah, that's fake.
It looks fake as fuck.
Dude, he'd have a bigger hammer than that. You're telling me Bigfoot's dick is that tiny?
I don't even think that's a dick, bro.
What is it then?
It's where he cut the thing in half.
Oh,
he took its organs out to stuff it.
Oh. The guy chopped off his dick. It was so big. I'm gonna make a dildo out of this.
Yeah, a fucking big old dildo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the photo of that guy that's always like popping up, like zoom in for more detail. The big black guy's sitting on the butt. Yeah. That guy is a gigantic penis, but not as big as Bigfoot's.
No, that's Bigfoot's baby size.
Yeah, that's the baby one.
Yeah.
So there's more than one Bigfoot hunting story.
That's fucked. Yeah, they're just killing their fucking buddies.
So you wanted to talk about aliens?
I do want to talk about aliens. I heard a crazy fucking theory.
All right. So
I heard the theory, and this is going to go back to the episode where we talked. I don't know what episode it was, but we talked about like how were we in a simulation, how we came to be, like the Bible, and maybe there are parts of the Bible that are actually true, but I think over time, like how old's look at the age of the Bible, or what we consider the age of the Bible. Over time, when language changes and
stories are passed
down. People grow up, people pass away, stories get passed down. The story gets skewed and manipulated into whatever way they remember it, or how they saw it, or remember their grandparents telling them. Again, you can't tell me there's an original Bible from way back when. There probably was, but I'm guessing there's not. It could have been dropped in the ocean and gone forever. It could have been dropped in a river, gone forever.
Like Jumanji? They dropped it in the river at the end of the movie.
Yeah, like there's just so much shit that like it could have been burned in a fire. Could have been shredded by some angry housewife. Like who the fuck knows, right? Like you know? So like there's no original, so it's all just stories passed down, and
Well, I
look
think
how many stories you've been told that get skewed and manipulated, or little things get changed to emphasize on the story and make it more entertaining, right?
Yeah.
So as that shit gets passed down, it's like, okay, well, not everything in it is true, and whatever, it's whatever people decided to put in it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Bible could have been a thing that was like, if we were purposely put here, it could have been left with us. And then again, over time, that story got skewed on how we actually came to be, like Adam and Eve. So I think what happened is that, I don't believe, but I do like this fucking little story.
It's fun to talk about.
That we were the Big Bang. We crashed our ship into
I have not heard this theory.
Into Earth, which then wiped out dinosaurs.
Okay, so are we the Big Bang or are we the asteroid?
We're the asteroid.
Okay.
Sorry,
so
not the Big Bang. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I meant the asteroid. So we crash into fucking Earth. We
killed all the dinosaurs.
We kill all the dinosaurs with our big fucking crazy ship.
Yeah.
And then 2 people survived. Who the fuck knows how? Maybe they hit a life pod and floated down. I don't know.
Yeah.
2 people survived. Adam and Eve. There you go. And they populated the rest of, like, they just grew the population from there.
65 million years ago?
Sure. That's a long fucking time.
That's when the dinosaurs got hit by the asteroid.
That's a long fucking time.
Yeah. I'm not as in on this theory, although I do like where it's going.
I just think that, like, the asteroid that hit and we just, like, it destroyed all the things. Like, okay, cool. Where did us come from?
We
Like,
came from moles
apes.
and weevils. The original, like, yeah, we were like a little shrew. Like a shrew type creature is the original ancestor of humans.
Sorry.
And all mammals.
But again, do we know 100%?
They don't know anything 100%.
Exactly.
But what they do know is that an asteroid slammed into Earth 65 million years ago because they have the crater. They have the carbon dating in the ice when they take core samples and shit like that. And other geological shit that I'm not aware of.
So that asteroid could have just been a cover-up, though. That could have been the shell.
It's a nuke. It's a nuke, bro.
No, it could have just been the shell of this fucking spaceship to disguise ourselves traveling through space. And we did, it wasn't like, we didn't mean to crash here, just fucking...
We're just really clumsy.
Somebody's a fucking idiot or whatever, and we crash into this fucking planet.
So we crashed, but you gotta think about this.
Maybe something broke and we just fucking couldn't help it.
We crashed into the planet so hard that we killed almost all life on it. Yeah. But 2 humans survived.
Yeah.
And then everything else evolved from a shrew.
No, I don't think we were from a shrew.
We did.
Maybe we were a fucking shrew. Maybe we were that big back then.
No. We were a little
How
shrew.
can you say no?
Because
again, we could have been that big. We could have been them little shrews.
I'm pretty sure they've got this one down to like 100%. All right, hear me out on this.
Okay, sure.
I think we would be a lot further along if we'd been on this planet for fucking 65 million years ago.
Okay, but look at the people
themselves.
Look at the people that are in car crashes and don't remember like a fucking thing till the time, like, all they remember is just waking up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They don't remember any of their past shit. So that could have happened to us. We don't remember a fucking damn thing.
Well, when did we crash here?
65 million years ago, apparently.
All right, I'm with you in the sense that I think the humans are older than we're aware of, but I don't think we're 65 million years older. Because humans, like, they can track the fossil record. Like, humans have been in this form for like a couple 100,000 years, and they think maybe a little bit longer, just like because there's a few gaps in the record. Yeah. And they found like a direct ancestor of ours called Artie, who's like really close to us, who's sort of like the one in between. I think Lucy, who would sometimes be on all fours and sometimes stand up, but I think Artie was like only standing, and it was like a very primitive human.
Okay,
that thing's like 2 million years at least. So if humans have been in this form for, let's say, like 500,000 or 600,000 years ago, I think in this exact form, we're like, we have this same size brain and everything.
Yeah.
Like, look at all this shit that we accomplished in 100 years and stuff like that. I'm open to the fact that, like, because the planet's always changing and fucking rocks hit us all the time and stuff like that, I'm open to the fact that maybe there was some older civilizations that were more advanced than we think. Because we just think that, like, like, we started at the bottom and it's just been a steady climb upward. Yeah. Whereas, like, we could go up, we could come down, we can go up, we can come down.
Bad year. We had a bad fucking year.
Well, for sure. Like, because there was a volcano in Indonesia that went off 70,000 years ago, maybe longer. I think it was 70,000 years ago. And they think that human beings got down to like 120 mating pairs on the whole planet.
Jesus.
So that's basically an extinction level event.
Yeah.
So if you have human beings have been on the planet for 500,000 years, and then you have this thing that basically kills the whole planet, all your remnants, 70,000 years of whatever the fuck was there before, whether there was any advanced civilization or whether there wasn't, I'm not saying there was. I'm not so sold on that idea. But whether there was anything like that would be fucking dead and gone, and there's no one around to carry on that legacy. Similar to what you were saying. So if you've got 120 mating pairs that fucking survived this volcano on Java 70,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And let's say the fucking human race was at a point where they could like travel over sea a long way, which I think they could at that point. And that knowledge is now lost because most people are fucking dead or they're stranded where they're at. They can't now interact with people throughout the world. And then you got to build up that progression again to get to where we are today.
Yeah.
I just don't think that 65 million years of human beings would look very, very different to where we are now. Because we can track back in the fossil record to be like, holy fuck, this is like a direct ancestor of a human being 2 million years ago. This is what they look like. And they were not us. They were very different.
But that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying that when we crash, we look like we do now.
You just think it was like, so.
We could have, again, we could have been the fucking.
The little shrew?
The little shrews.
Shrews that know how to intergalactic
Yeah, and
travel.
they just fucking knew, like, all this shit. Again, if you think a crazy crash for us, like car crash, there's people that wake up and don't remember a fucking second to their life previously.
And they're not even moles or shrews.
Yeah, they're us. Right? So, like, again, it could have been on that level. And then, again, what you're saying were crazy things on Earth happen, like volcanoes exploding. Like, how much crazy shit would have happened after or way back then? The fucking continent split.
Yeah.
It used to all be fucking like one thing, they say.
Yeah.
And it does fit all together. Like, even islands that break off, you can be like, oh, it literally fucking
Eventually,
broke off right fucking there.
When you track continental drift and stuff, yes.
Yeah, so all that shit happened. So again, like what you were saying, if that broke off, well, maybe it happened over a shit ton of time. But if that starts to break, that group of people that were there,
they get
shrews,
stuck. Yeah,
they're fucked and they're stuck there. And then they maybe evolve faster or differently than the people that are over here.
Well, I think there's, the story from the Bible about Noah parting the Red Sea.
Yeah.
So that the slaves could travel out of Egypt. I think they think that whatever time that story supposedly happened, the real sort of story is that the Red Sea was a lot shallower and closer together than it is modern day. So back to what you're saying, things drift and they come and go and they drift apart.
Yeah.
It was shallower. So by him parting the Red Sea, the tide might have been out and this is our time to go. Or they may have mostly traveled on like when it was like waist height and they could get across most of the Red Sea. Yeah. So there is things like that. And then those stories get exaggerated
whatever for a better entertaining story.
I do not think that 65 million years of lost stories have occurred for humans. They might have, but I just like there's too much shit in the like geological record to say that because for sure there was dinosaurs, right? Yeah. And then for sure something killed them all off, which they believe was because like they can track like nuclear winter and stuff like that, which it makes sense. Like if a massive volcano goes off today, like a fucking super volcano, it could put the Earth in a nuclear winter where like plants could stop growing, and then everything that eats plants, which we eat, could die, and then you could have extinction level events for sure.
Yeah.
And then if you lose your technology, then I think you
wouldn't
forget.
Have plant-based meat. No,
you wouldn't. And then vegans would be very upset.
Yeah.
And I would be upset because I think
vegetables.
Oh God. I'm a sporadic vegetable eater.
No, but like shit like that definitely could and most likely did happen back then. Where events like that.
Yeah. I think
where
so
you're
for
saying
sure.
Like population's going up, everything's on the rise, and then a big event happens, and then shit plummets.
Yeah, like I don't think that human progression is linear. I think a lot of like, I don't like using the term mainstream, but I think the general consensus of like some scholars and like shit like that is that we started here and there's only one way to go.
We only went up. We never came down.
Yeah, but I don't think that they're looking at like what happened 10, 12,000 years ago where a lot of fucking crazy climate shit happened on our planet, which there was for sure huge extinctions at the end of the last ice age. Like we lost mammoths, we lost a shitload of megafauna. in North America and throughout the rest of the world. So those are massive level extinction events. So the planet was in fucking peril for over 1,000 years.
Yep.
So why would humans not be affected, or any sort of like somewhat advanced civilization? And then you've got whoever's left to pick up the pieces and keep forward. And we are here in 10,000 years later. You got yourselves a fucking pretty advanced civilization like we have. Like we're fucking we go to the moon. We shoot up satellites. We fucking text. We do all these things, which are really cool. But literally 12,000 years ago, where we're standing was under fucking ice.
Yeah.
And then immediately it fucking was under ice very quickly. And there was humans on this planet. And a lot of them.
Well, again, just to go over like the evolution of like how we came to be, like if you look at the ape period, again, it's just splitting off and a group of us going down like to hotter weather. And then we saw a lot of the evolution could have been losing the hair.
Well, one of the theories, one of like the main theories about how human beings began to start to stand, or like their ancestors, is because of climate change. So like where they were living was mostly like rainforest and shit like that. And then the climate started to shift into more like a savanna type environment.
Yeah. So
where we had to come down out of the trees and you had to stand up to see over the grass.
Yeah.
Because shit's gonna fucking eat you. I think that's one of the theories as far as those things
Makes
go,
sense.
which is interesting. Yeah.
The environment changes, the
they don't know
temperature
100%.
changes. But that, like, at least to me, that all makes sense. Like, again, if scenery is changing where you can't be in the trees all the time now,
you have to adapt or die.
You have to adapt.
Yeah.
And those that do are the ones that are going to survive.
Yeah.
And then when those ones survive, they teach their young ones this, how you got to do it. You got to start walking.
Mm-hmm.
And they start walking. And then next thing you know, walking is like, oh, you're on all fours?
Idiot.
Pussy.
Yeah.
The fuck?
You can't outrun a cheetah.
Yeah, right? Like,
whereas I can't either, but I can probably outrun someone else. You just got to outrun one other person, right? And the species continues.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just going to kick you in the knee, break your knee, and then see you later.
Keep on moving. The thing that's interesting to me about, like, because we were talking about aliens previously. Have you seen the movie Arrival?
No.
So it's a really good movie. This won't spoil it, but the concept of the movie is that all these sort of spaceships arrive on Earth. And they're trying to communicate with human beings, and the main character, she's like a linguist or whatever, and she has to go and try and figure it out. So they have to. The reason that the aliens are here is because they know that in like 100 years, human beings are going to need their help for something. So they've almost like come back to a different time to teach them their language, so that when the human beings need their help, they'll know their language and they can help them right away.
Right.
Which is a pretty interesting sort of time fuck warp.
I think
is actually is somewhat plausible based on the realm of physics.
So after discussing like on the previous episode about element 115 or whatever, I definitely could see them needing us again. Like look at all our mining and how we're good at all this other shit. And again, maybe element 115 is here and we just haven't found it yet.
Or maybe they're us from the future trying to help tell us something. Or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah, like, again, like, if...
Because if the aliens needed us to do shit, we would be doing it. Think about it. Like, if all these, like, UFO things are true and stuff,
yeah,
the shit that they can do, and, like, if they can, like, travel the way that they think that they can travel and stuff, these things are, like, we're ants, right? We're nothing.
Yeah.
So if, like,
we could be giants compared to them.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that we're giants in our ability.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of creatures that are bigger than us that we tame, you know? Yep. There's a fucking dude that owns a polar bear and the thing doesn't eat him and he swims with it in a swimming pool.
Yeah, that guy's cool as fuck.
That guy's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But
I would love to do that.
Yeah, and that's like a really we're closer to a fucking polar bear intelligence-wise than I think we are to any sort of alien coming in a UFO and looking at us.
Yeah.
Because we're so dumb.
Because I think one thing people always consider, and I've just recently thought of this, was why do aliens have to be somewhat the same size of us, even if they are like little, like kind of
smaller?
Yeah, like kid, like childlike, kid-like, whatever. Smaller people. What if they're even smaller than that?
Sure.
And definitely, they could have been here by now. I
don't think they can be bigger, like based on physics as we know it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But again, like it's all speculation, and it's like that's what I like about it. Like
it's just fun.
Nobody can be wrong.
No.
Because you know. Yeah, show me your proof. You don't. So shut up. But again, they could be even smaller. There could be aliens out there that are like little fucking insects.
Well,
like fly size. Maybe flies are fucking aliens, and we just don't know.
Think about this: if they find when they're like trying to get like water samples out of Mars right now, right?
Yeah,
and they want to analyze them to find bacteria. We can't see bacteria, but that's alien life.
Yeah,
literally alien life.
We're literally gonna bring back aliens.
Exactly, and you can't see them. So what you're saying is correct. Like,
yeah,
they could be any shape, any size. There's no limit to life of what it is. The intelligent life could be big or small. Probably.
There's definitely some like different species out there that are so far in advance of us.
We have no idea what they're even doing.
We couldn't even speculate what they do.
And they probably
or how they live.
Like, I think our understanding of like I listened to a lot of physicists and shit like that. And their understanding of the universe, I think, is like they've almost plateaued. So I think since Einstein, there hasn't been any like great leaps and bounds. Like there's like quantum mechanics and there's like different theories and stuff like that. But as far as like physical understanding of how certain things go, there hasn't been any like serious breakthroughs. So we've almost like reached a point of what we understand about how the universe operates and what the universe is. And that understanding, as we know it, is not very much.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever has managed to be millions of years advanced than us, thousands of years in advance, you have to consider that our understanding is probably the head of a pin, and theirs, if it's the size of the pin, is so much greater than ours. And understanding they can actually, if they understand what the universe is and how it properly operates, they can use that to their advantage to travel great distances, to do all these things, right? I think I mentioned before, like dark energy or dark matter in the universe makes up like 80% of the universe, and they have no idea what it is.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean it's nothing nefarious, but maybe once you understand what that is, that can help you travel great distances.
Yeah, how to manipulate.
Maybe it helps you understand the physics better of how to do proper star travel. Where now, if we want to go to like the nearest planet, that's like let's say the nearest planet's three light years away. That's a long fucking way to go.
Yeah,
and that's not even a planet that has like that's in the Goldilocks zone. Let's say it's a fucking gas giant that's like at the edge of its star system.
Yeah,
and that's the only planet out there. It's going to take us 3 years traveling at the speed of light, which we can't even get near.
Yeah.
So really, it's going to take us hundreds or 60, 80 years to get there.
Yeah.
Where if we understand the proper understanding of how the universe properly works, we can use that to our advantage to get there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or right now. Just fucking boom, go. Punch it in. Punch in the keyboard.
Here we go.
Bop, boop, boop.
Yeah. 12 hours later.
Zoom off and away you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nuts. Do you know if they've, like, what is it? Like Venus or Uranus, the one with the ring? Saturn.
Uranus has a ring too, I believe.
One of them is like, they're like, oh, it's like all gas. Or it's got
a number of our planets are gas. Jupiter, Saturn.
But have they ever like sent something like actually onto the planet?
Yeah, so I think they've sent things, they've killed things in those planets before. Like they've like killed like satellites and shit. So like I think the most recent thing that like took like high resolution
gas killed it?
Like they'll kill the satellite. So like they'll just like send the satellite on a trajectory to like crash into the planet.
Oh.
So I think I'm gonna look this up.
But like nothing's like landed or like tried to land to like roam around.
There is no like land. There's nothing to land on.
Like 100%.
You could like travel all the way through it. You wouldn't be able to based on the gravity. But let's say the gravity wouldn't affect you and you could go point A and like
just shoot right
through it like a dart.
Yeah.
Unobstructed.
That's the other thing, because like I knew there was a lot of planets that were like high gas atmospheres or whatever you want to call it.
Well, Venus has
like a cloud.
Venus is like covered in like greenhouse gases.
Yeah,
but they have like a surface.
See, because I'd always be curious, because like
and you can get to the surface
through the
like things last like a couple minutes because it's so hot. It's like 400 something Celsius but it has a surface. Mercury has a surface. We have a surface. Mars has a surface.
Like what about Pluto?
Pluto's a surface, but Pluto's not a planet anymore. It got kicked out of our solar system.
It's still here.
I agree, but
how can you kick it out?
Because physicists are better than us.
Okay.
It didn't meet the exact criteria of what a planet is. It's a dwarf planet, or it's got some strange name. And it was considered.
They're adding weight classes to planets.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
But Pluto has a surface. I believe that Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, and Jupiter are all gas giants.
I would just be curious because, like, again, how for me, you just can't rule them out. To like, there could be shit there.
They think that there's shit on Jupiter's moons and Saturn's moons. I think Europa's Jupiter's moon, and it's covered by a thick layer of ice. And based on the gravity from Jupiter, it like kind of like pushes, like the gravity's so strong, like pushes and pulls on the moon. But when I say moon, it's a fucking huge place.
Yeah.
It pushes and pulls, so it actually like keeps the ice moving and cracking. I think it actually keeps the internal temperature of the moon warm. So they think that there's liquid water underneath the top, like half mile thick or a couple kilometer thick layer of ice. So they think, like, in theory, you could send drill down like you're drilling for oil, stick a camera down there, and there's liquid water, and there could be things living in there.
Yeah.
Bacteria or like whales or whatever the fuck it is, right?
Could have fucking 17 heads.
Could be nothing. Could be ice all the way down to the core.
Yeah.
Or to the surface.
I just think it's absolutely wild.
Well, I do think what the scientists are thinking is that life is far more common than we're aware of. Like we spoke about before, there's this chemical in the atmosphere or in the clouds of Venus, which is technically alien life. I'd have to relook it up, but it's a chemical that's only made by like, it's either artificially made or organisms created. It's like a byproduct of an organism. It's microscopic. It's some sort of bacteria, but they found that on Venus.
Like, that's crazy.
The most common thing about life is that it's common, like, everywhere. Like whether it's just bacteria, but I think generally wherever you go, you might find some sort of thing. And also there's like life could live on, like, you don't know how life started here. No. There's theories that like an asteroid carrying
a UFO
bacteria or a UFO. I guess an asteroid is a UFO.
Yeah.
It could be, right?
Unidentified flying object.
Until you identify that fucker, you don't know what it is. Whether it's artificially made or naturally occurring. But I like, they think that there's life fucking in our solar system. Like Mars used to have running water, rivers and oceans, and they're pretty sure that water is like the common thing for life. They found water on other planets, like liquid water that looks like our planet, in the same area as our things, in multiple solar systems. Didn't
you say they found like ice shards on the moon?
Yeah, they found ice on the moon.
That literally just melted down as water.
Yeah, so it's like one of the things that they want to do is because they found water on the moon, and it's like literally you could like put your hand into like one of those dark craters, pull out some ice, melt it down, and drink it. It's just water.
Yeah.
Whether there's frozen bacteria contained within that, I don't know. I don't know what outer space water is. I don't know what the difference between outer space water and
in our water
in our water is. I would assume it's somewhat different.
I would imagine.
But water is fucking super common in a certain area. Like ice is everywhere in the universe.
Yeah.
It's just, we don't know a lot of shit.
No, we really don't. It's fucking wild.
It's really cool. And the thing is that it's like time is like so hard to comprehend. So like it's easy to say like 4.5 billion years ago, we started to get water build up on our thing. It's like, oh my God, like how did that take so long? But 1 billion years is so fucking long. It's like if you just keep getting hit with asteroids that have ice on them, I guess for sure you could have this much water.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's strange because Venus is like almost identical to Earth.
Okay.
And it has a surface. It's the same size. I think it just rotates the opposite direction.
That's kind of cool.
But it's surrounded in like a fucking permanent like greenhouse gas effect, where like there's like a toxic plume around there that like cooked the whole surface of the thing. So like it could have been like a factory gone wild, and then humans came over here, right?
Yeah, and we fucking deuced. We're out, and then just over time. Like again, if we've been on Earth for how long, dude? Come on, our story definitely got lost somewhere, especially if those like crazy life-changing, species-changing events happen.
Which for sure they did.
Yeah.
The same way that we know that an asteroid slammed in the Earth 65 million years ago and killed off most of the dinosaurs and most life on planet Earth, where life had to restart. So I think I'm gonna look this up because it's a crazy amount of time.
For what? When
like how long were dinosaurs around for? Is what I'm trying to find out. When did dinosaurs live on Earth? So 165 million years, dinosaurs were on Earth.
Holy fuck.
And dominated the planet. Like, they were the only things here for 165 million years. A lot longer than we've been around. Like, we're not even a fucking blink of an eye in time that we've been on this planet.
Yeah.
And then a fucking rock smashed into Mexico. Wiped them out. And then literally the whole planet had to re-evolve and restart life. There's certain things that remain, like sharks, alligators, and shit like that. There's a number of things that are like carryovers from that time. But basically, life as we know it on this planet, but
even like
has had to restart. Yeah, they're big.
Yeah, but like again, like sure, those sharks, they're still fucking massive. But if the megalodon was a thing, and I'm not saying it's not, because I do think
it was around. Yeah, they have like fossils.
At one point, it was everything else was just so big. Like even alligators, there was probably giant alligators. But now, after that, they just, whether something stunted their growth, so maybe there's something in the atmosphere that from the asteroid hitting,
or
let off some type of gas.
If your food source has been basically wiped out by an asteroid or nuclear winter, you're not growing to the extent that you're at. If you want to survive, you have to be able to you're going to grow smaller.
Yeah. Because
you want to continue on.
Calorie deficit.
Exactly. Being malnourished as a child basically stunts your growth.
Yeah.
Didn't stunt mine, but.
Oh, definitely didn't stunt mine. My height, yeah. Width, nope.
Yeah. So they were around for that long and life had to start anew. So, like, that's why to me, the whole idea that human progression is linear is dumb because life on planet Earth isn't linear.
Yeah.
Like, we had a dominant species for millions of years. Like, an unfathomable amount of time. Like 10,000 years ago was an unfathomable amount of time. Now think about 1 million years or 165 million years. Like it's not even, you can't even process that as a human being, right? So if life on Earth isn't linear, where like dinosaurs aren't still walking around today because they went extinct. So like they went up to this big peak, boom. And then if you look at on a graph, fucking life shot down to here and then it slowly built itself up. And then there's peaks and valleys. Because I think most things that have ever existed are extinct. Some crazy stat like that.
Yeah.
99% of all creatures are extinct. So life itself isn't linear. So why do we think that human beings are like so special to only start here and work our way up? Where like we have peaks and valleys.
Definitely.
Which we can track. Like we know, like within the last couple thousands of years, the Sahara Desert was an ocean.
Yeah, well, just that volcano explosion that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like it's... Again, to not take that into consideration, you got to be very naive.
Okay, sorry. Sahara was an ocean 66 million years. So 56 million years ago.
Still, like...
But even still.
It was still an ocean at one point.
And it was green for a long time because it was part of the Fertile Crescent. Like, Egypt was green up until 16,000 years ago. And, like, agriculture and everything like that. Like, that's why they call that region, like, part of the Middle East, like, the Fertile Crescent or something like that. Because the conditions for life at that time and civilization to start were perfect. You had everything you needed for a civilization to thrive, right?
Not now.
Well, not now, because like things shift and things change.
Yeah.
And while you're in Egypt 15,000 years ago, if you were sitting here, you'd be under ice. And that's not a long time ago.
No,
that's not
really
56 minutes. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Time ago.
It's fucking wild.
And humans have been around for like, what, 10 times that long? 150,000 years times, like let's say 150,000, 10 times longer than that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So a blip is 15,000 years. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Things come and go. I like it. But I like the idea of some sort of like time travel associated thing where like it could be us coming back because we understand.
Yeah.
And we're like trying to communicate with ourselves like, hey, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, smarten up. Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like if it was like, again, I kind of like this theory that it was like a UFO that crashed into here, wiped out all the dinosaurs and whatever. And I'm not saying it was it could have been a user error flying the fucking UFO or
user error.
Just something fucking broke, just traveling through space and then we crashed into it. Or whether we collided with that asteroid and took the asteroid with us into the fucking Earth and we fucked everything up.
And we're like, shit.
And then
I guess we're going to stick around a little while.
And then our memory got wiped, and those that survived the crash grew the population. And then from there, again, I'm not saying they look like us, but over time and evolution, things got up. And then maybe the UFO sightings and all this shit are us coming back and being like, yo, what the fuck? This is not us.
I don't know these people.
Yeah, right? Like they could have been like, oh, fuck, they crashed here. So they saved the location on where we crashed. They're like, the crash was fucking crazy. There's no way anybody survived.
What if
And then we come back years later and it's like, holy fuck, people actually survived, but they have changed so much that they look like this now. And then again, come back years later. Now they look like this.
And they're just watching their own evolution.
Oh my God, they almost died again.
Again. Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
This place is wild.
Again and again.
This thing just blew up. They didn't even do it.
I know.
Right? Like, it's crazy, man. I think, for me at least, that seems a little more believable than the asteroid fucking hit and then somehow, some way.
I disagree.
This little fucking.
I think
because if everything died,
it just can't be that long ago. I'm with you that we could have been fucked with by aliens and or left here and we forgot about it or whatever the fuck, right? I don't think it was 65 million years ago. That's such a long time ago. It's so long.
It is. I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah. And if you look at the reports of things that are visiting us, let's say that's what our original form is, right? Like smaller, childlike, big heads and stuff like that. And we've evolved out of that somehow and into this.
Maybe we were the outcasts. We were the shrooms.
We were the idiots?
Yeah, we looked different.
And got fucked off.
They were like, yo, y'all need here's a fucking spaceship. Get the fuck out of here.
Deuces.
Yeah, we don't want your kind around here.
I don't blame. We're a pretty dumb species.
But again, if we crashed and fucking wiped our memory.
But no one's surviving that crash. That's
you don't know that. You weren't there.
You're right.
And I'm not saying it was a crash.
Like, why can't it be both? Like, why can't it be an asteroid definitely crashed, killed the dinosaurs, and then let's say 1 million years ago, human beings were created or fucked with in some fashion to get to the shape that we're in now. And then we just kind of carry on living on this planet. No idea really where we came from, how we evolved here.
Yeah.
And then they just keep coming back and visiting us and checking on us every once in a while to see where we're to.
But what if the alien species has evolved and now what we could have been when we crashed, they evolved as well? Because you can't say they didn't.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going to change. Like, look at our evolution. If we started from these little fucking things and worked our way up to what we are now, who's to say that they didn't do the same thing, just slightly different? And again, all these environmental crisis or I don't know, events where volcanoes are exploding and almost wiping out. Maybe when that volcano erupted, or a volcano way back when it erupted, it let off a gas, and that gas changed shit in our DNA or in us. And then when, like Chernobyl, we grew fucking hands.
This sounds like the Scientology origin.
You know, like we grew fucking hands. Like, look at that.
I think you're.
And we were the Chernobyl motherfuckers that came out of that. You know,
I think you're vastly underestimating evolution and how long it takes.
I'm not saying it happened overnight, but again, like, look at just walking, right? That didn't happen overnight. They definitely couldn't just like chill and fucking walk perfectly. No, they were probably going up. Oh, fucking, I'm on all twos. Oh, shit, I fell over.
I'm on all twos.
I fucking fell over. Yo, Timmy, roll me over.
Yeah. But I mean...
Or Timmy, hold me up for a second.
But here's the thing. I'm with you. Kind of.
Just definitely not.
I'm kind of with you. Like, if you look... Like, you don't need to look at how crazy it is for that shit. Like, because we can track all this stuff. That's why I'm saying, like... I don't think it's like a fucking... I don't think it's an amnesia event, like for us to be able to drill into the earth, analyze core samples, see certain cataclysm events, including the 65 million year event. We're like, okay, from this time and this million years, Earth was basically fucking a nuclear winter. I don't think that's like an amnesic event. Like if they're saying, if you look at Earth between this year and this year, it was very hostile to life. Like, I don't understand how we could, like, if we were crashing into the planet and it killed everything on Earth, it would also kill whatever the fuck crashed into it you would think.
Nah, just a shockwave.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't be the thing that destroys the planet and also survive, because you would be destroyed as well by destroying the planet.
You could.
The Earth hits
They
back.
could have had good fucking airbags.
No, they didn't have good airbags.
You don't know that.
I do know that because it was a rock. There's a fucking crater.
From where the UFO hit.
All right.
It had a rock outside to disguise itself amongst the other planets and amongst all the other aliens that are out there.
So did they land here like Zod and Man of Steel and then start terraforming the planet?
Yep.
And there wasn't actually an asteroid that put in a nuclear winter. It was whatever the fuck landed here, and it was us.
Yeah.
And then we've just been hanging out for 65 million years.
And changing and evolving. Fucking shit up. And who's to say there's only one species of aliens?
I would say there's definitely not.
Exactly.
There's not even one. There wasn't even one species.
So maybe we were a species fleeing another planet from some crazy fucking battle.
What if, like, 500,000 years ago, there was lower hominids that got artificially fucked with by aliens, and then they just keep coming back and checking on how we're doing?
I like that theory.
I like that one a lot better than we've been here for 65 million years.
Where we're like little test tubers.
Yeah.
And we just get fucking placed on Earth, and they're like, let's just fucking leave them and see what happens. And they probably stayed with us till we got to a point where we were like living and could do shit on our own in a sense.
But if they can interact with the universe in a fashion we don't need to, they don't necessarily need to be evolving at the same time. Like, they could still be the same thing.
Oh, 100%. They could.
And it's almost some sort of fast forward. Like,
maybe they're like,
they
holy
zip
fuck,
over.
look, guys, our experiment got fucked up. Look how different they are.
Like, if they zip over to their planet.
Yeah.
And it's like 20,000 light years away or whatever. And they instantaneously zip over there. If they're on that planet for like a year, 20,000 years have gone by, say. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they come back over here, like, oh, fuck, look at how they're doing. So in that time, like, let's say, like,
well, time could be
100 years has passed, right?
Yeah.
Human beings haven't changed form in 100 years.
No.
But if these little fuckers are just looking at us, and time works differently in different parts of the universe.
I was going to say, like, where they live, a year there could be 1,000 years here.
Well, exactly.
Right? Like,
so they don't necessarily have to be evolving at the same time. So that's why it would be, if they know how to appear here pretty quickly, it's a pretty cool science experiment, because it's like playing a simulation game on your phone where it's always in fast forward.
But you're doing an actual.
But you're doing a real lifestyle.
On a fucking ginormous planet.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, this is a cool fucking place. Timmy, we're doing our school experiment here.
Yeah. I'm not in on that asteroid theory.
Okay.
I just think there's too much evidence that says that's not the case. But then there's also, like, to give you credit, there is a lot of evidence that scientists and shit like that don't understand. Like, they don't know why the human brain doubled so fast over a certain amount of time.
Right.
Like, the human brain was always this size for a long, long time, and then it doubled in size over the course of a million years. So is that something fucking with us? Is that, like, there's a million theories out there as to what happened. Can they track,
like, again, if nothing even has to explode, like, something could just slightly shift and let off a gas of some sort. Not even a gas, like, just, I don't even know what it could be, but
I think what you're thinking of, I think I know what you're trying to say, is like something changed in order for us to end up the way we are.
Or like sped up that, or just changed us, like our evolution in a sense.
But it doesn't have to be some sort of gas or whatever. Like those things are continental shift. Those things are climate change, where we come down out of the trees.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
saying.
There's a million things that
it doesn't have to be like a gas of some sort.
Yeah,
it could have been anything to change us into take us on one path.
It takes us down a different road.
Us completely onto a new one.
Yeah, and those things definitely happen all the time. Like that's like evolution at its core, is like there's a moth. I'd have to double check the name of it that evolved during the Industrial Revolution. So in like the mid 1800s, it was this white moth that was in Britain. And then in a period of less than 50 years, it's now a black charcoal cover moth. So because when the Industrial Revolution happened, everything was fucking soot and they're spewing fucking coal out. So everything was dirty.
Yeah.
So when this moth lands against a tree, it stands out like a sore thumb. So birds are picking them off left, right, and center.
Yeah.
So if this fucking species wants to survive, it has to adapt. So that's that little bridge for that species to go down this road.
Yeah, the black ones.
Things are now covered in soot, and now the black ones are surviving.
Yeah, it's like,
so their genes get passed on.
What was it? The ugly duckling? It was black, and all the other ones were white or whatever.
I don't even remember that story, but I think that's what it was.
It was something like that, and one was a different color of some sort. And again, that could have been the case, but there could have been more than just one. And then the black ones aren't getting picked off, and they're
that's
living,
exactly what
and
happened.
then those breed and more black
and
ones.
And their genes get passed down.
The white ones get picked off, and
they die.
And
yeah. So there is a million things. Like if a volcano cracked off 600,000 years ago in something that we don't understand happened, that could have pushed human beings to discover something. Or maybe the planet was hotter and we discovered fire quicker. Like one of the theories that like fire was the thing that doubled our brain.
Yeah.
There's people that think the mushrooms did it. Some people think that aliens did it. Like they really do not know what doubled our human brain size. So to me, that's where I think that's the magic period as to where the cool shit could have happened, as opposed to, because like we can track pretty much the progression up to a certain point, and then scientists and archaeologists are kind of like, fuck,
we don't know.
Either we don't have enough data to like show for sure, but like the one thing they do know is they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know what did it. There's a lot of interesting theories. There's a fucking ton of them.
Could also be
that's my sweet spot as far as like human evolution, and like if you want to talk about shit getting dropped off here or aliens coming and visiting, I think it's in that time, because you can basically track you can track how the planet was up until a certain point.
Could also be like, again, how you were saying, water, and if you were to scoop in one of the moon's like little craters and get ice shards, in there could be so much bacteria or life, and it's frozen. And then again, that asteroid that hit us could have had the same fucking thing.
Now the water melts.
Melts, things start to combine to each other, or whatever.
That's a theory of how life originally started, because like
so if it's going to wipe out everything and then miraculously we have all this life again, you got to wonder, like, where did it all fucking come from?
Well, the asteroid, it didn't wipe out everything to a certain extent. It made it hard. So the problem for the dinosaurs, and the reason they didn't survive, is because they were so fucking big and they consumed so much. Now, whether that was them consuming themselves or consuming all the plants and stuff like that. So when your planet goes cold, now all these things are dead. Yeah. It's the smaller things and the more adaptable things that survive.
Right.
So life didn't go down to nothing. There was probably a fuckload of things still alive. Yeah. It's just the dominating species on the planet got wiped out. And that's what it is. And they didn't even really get fully wiped out because birds are a descendant of dinosaurs. So
yeah. Birds are creepy as fuck.
Birds are creepy as fuck, but dinosaurs have very similar bones to birds and stuff like that. And they think that, well, I think they know that like they're descendants in some fashion. So obviously a couple survived, whether they were very small, and then they evolve and change, and then they branch species down the way. And then you get fucking seagulls, and then you get bald eagles and golden eagles and fucking ostriches. You get penguins, you get a whole host of shit, right?
Crazy, yeah.
But that goes to show you that life just fucking splinters, and it takes so many different avenues. Like maybe penguins were living on a certain part. The continent slowly started to drift over thousands of years.
They were close to the equator, and now they're not.
Now they have to fucking use the water to
and
get their
live
food,
in
right?
snow, and they got to change all their shit. They don't need to fly.
And that could be a slow progression, because let's say the continent moves an inch a year.
Yeah.
So that's a
long fucking...
but that's ripe for evolution, because it's not a sudden change. Sudden change is what makes extinction happen.
Yeah.
Right? But if it's slow adaptation, it almost happens without you even realizing it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's how most of that shit shakes out.
You fooled me. I thought you were.
But I would say, as someone who's not an evolutionary biologist, I would think that, well, I know they say that the things that are easy to adapt, they survive when shit gets tough.
Yeah.
Right. So if continents are drifting slowly apart, it's not a drastic change for things, so things can adjust to newer climates, fucking warmer or colder, etc. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's fucking crazy to even think about, man.
Well, the coolest shit, it doesn't even have to be the aliens. It's just like evolution itself.
Just evolution in itself,
or life itself,
is nuts. Like how it occurs, and
think about the thing that started life. Like whether it was like when planet Earth was like a baby, right, and it was just getting water and stuff on it, and an asteroid came and smashed into it. It had a little bit of bacteria, like single cell bacteria, that eventually turned into multi-cell bacteria, and that eventually turned into fucking the dinosaurs, which eventually turned into us. One little fucking speck.
Yeah.
Billions of years ago, evolved to be everything that we ever have known.
They could be bringing back samples right now and fucking creating life in these Area 51.
Dude,
one of those.
They just fucking made a, this is fucked up to me.
Oh, God.
They just made a human pig embryo hybrid.
What?
Yes. A human pig embryo hybrid. You hear that?
What?
Oh, it's like something running upstairs. I was just hearing this like.
Oh yeah, I hear it.
Weird fuzzy thing.
I don't have my headphones in right now.
Human pig.
Should we save it for next week? I'm just thinking. We're at an hour and a half already.
We can come back to it.
You want to come back? Because I
don't have a ton to say on it.
Okay. Let's hear it then.
Yeah.
Let's hear it then. I was just thinking if we were gonna go down a rabbit hole. That's fucking insane. Yeah, so when they do this?
January 27, 2017.
So not like pretty recently, but not that recently, like 3.5 years ago.
I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know what the need for doing this is.
Being fucking scientists.
Yeah, so it's a chimera is an organism with a genetic material from 2 or more sources. Experiments in the field may save lives, but are ethically controversial. I would say it's extremely ethically controversial. I don't think you should be making fucking human pig, human monkey shit. Now we're starting to play God and shit's going to get fucking squirrely.
Yeah, but that could be in our nature if we did descend from, like if aliens created us in a sense, right? Because if they created us, that could be somewhere deep in our fucking
if you just create
DNA
the embryo,
or whatever.
Right? If you create the embryo and you get a couple that pop off, right? Let's say something created a human being or mixed Artie, that fucking 2 million year old human descendant.
Yeah.
Right? With whatever the fuck came to Earth and created a human pig embryo, but except this time it was called a fucking human embryo. And a couple of those fuckers got loose. And then whatever was on that planet that made them, fucking some cataclysm, they wipe out, they go extinct.
Now we got these.
And now we got these brand new species. Forget all about it. So in a million years, there's going to be fucking human pigs going, not even knowing that human beings ever existed or where they came from. Because some asshole in a lab made them.
Fucking made them.
And then fucked it all up for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because for sure, human pigs are going to take over. There's no way they're not.
Oh, my God.
There's no question in my mind.
That is just a superior life form. Oh, my God. Think about it. That is so fucked.
It's tough as a boar, and it's got a
Why
human.
would you use a pig, though?
Because
they definitely
pigs are very close to human beings.
I was going to say, it's definitely not their first time trying it with something, though.
No. In that article,
probably tried it.
Monkey shit.
Yeah.
They probably fucking made the crazy shit that they probably had to shoot in the head immediately after it was born. Like, fuck, no, we can't do this.
You can't do this.
You don't think the Soviets were fucking around with shit behind the Iron Curtain? Come on.
Oh, man.
They for sure were.
Yeah. I think everybody is.
Chernobyl was just a cover to cover up the human pig controversy. Now we're getting to the bottom of it.
Now we're just doing it. Oh, my God.
All right. Yeah, I'm good.
That's fucking
Let's
crazy.
wrap her up. Thanks for listening to our crazy babbles. Greatly appreciated.
I love this alien
Hopefully that
shit.
was a more fun episode for you guys. We're going to try to keep shit a bit more entertaining.
I think we just need to keep bringing up aliens every once in a while.
Various topics keep us entertained because we're very good at getting off track.
Oh, so really? We went from Bigfoot to aliens. We started with fighting.
Ended on human pig embryos.
And then ended on human pig embryos.
Yeah.
It's wild. Hey, let us know what you guys think about aliens, how we started, and if you agree with any of the shit we said.
I agree.
I'd be curious.
I agree with basically none of the shit we said.
I can't wait to get start fucking getting friends on this shit.
Yeah. Just a note for people. I know we said previous to the new year we were going to try and have people on once a month and stuff. Obviously, due to COVID, we did have a couple people lined up for December, and then lockdowns.
Yeah, we were boogieing with that shit.
Yeah. So we are going to have more people on soon as we are allowed to. It's just
the state I don't think we're going to know anything till mid-February.
Yeah. The state of our world right now is
fucked.
Yeah. We're not allowed to have other people, but as soon as we can, we will, and change it up and keep it fun and entertaining, and that brings more people into the fold, and hopefully it's more fun for people to listen to as well. So I enjoy it. I
fucking love it. Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy it. CJ, hit him with the promotional stuff.
Hey, send us an email, mail.twoseasonapod@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Facebook, 2seasonapod, and be on the lookout for our YouTube channel. coming in the near future.
Cool.
We'll see you guys next week.
As
same
always,
time,
thanks
same
for
podcast.
listening.
Love you guys.
Same place, same smelly location. Thank you.